Thank you for tuning in to the HHW Show podcast. I'm Obi-Wan. Is the recap and the reaction on SmackDown. And we'll key points here that I'm going to talk about. And definitely please leave your comments below. Subscribe to our channel. It is the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. And you can also follow us on HHWShow.com. We'll start off with the King of the Ring tournament. And we already know on the Raw side of the house, Gunther, Dragunov, and Jey Uso advanced to the second round. We're still waiting for the results this Monday for Kofi and Rey Mysterio to go at it. But as we predicted on last Thursday, that we all agree on the HHW Show podcast that Gunther should be the winner and Dragunov might be the guy, the runner up. It'll be a great match to see Gunther Dragunov in the finals for Raw. But main event Jey Uso, I mean, that guy, main event, always comes close. However, it just seems like there's always something that prevents him from advancing or accomplishing his goals. And therefore, we all agree that on the Raw side of the house, once again, Gunther is the favorite to win it. On the other side on SmackDown, we learned that Randy Orton defeating AJ Styles, Carmelo Hayes inched by Corbin, and Tonga defeated one of the members of the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins. Bobby Lashley was out, which comes similar because Lashley wasn't cleared to participate because of an injury, and Drew McIntyre on Raw could not participate. What a coincidence! However, um, not to skip the Raw side, I forgot what to mention. One thing is that Jey Uso, he might be getting denied to advance to the next round because Drew McIntyre, he is butthurt about it because he was taken out, not being cleared, and therefore Jey Uso replaced him. So that could be a factor coming up on Monday Night Raw. But back on SmackDown, LA Knight and Santos Escobar still have to match up. And of course, I believe that LA Knight is going to win. And that'll set up a beef between him and the bloodline once again. And then was not to say that Orton and Carmelo Hayes have an awesome match, but being that Carmelo Hayes, I don't know, he's young, he's active. It's almost like he thinks he's already running the place in SmackDown, that everything belongs to him, and that might bite him in the ass because you're going against the famous three letters of all WWE, of all sports entertainment, and that is RKO. And a little bit of hint within the storyline, Randy Orton made a strong message to the bloodline because he's upset that they took out Kevin Owens. And that might stir up the pot before we head to the King and Queen of the Ring finals, which is going to happen in Saudi Arabia. SmackDown might be in full force the Friday before, so you want to tune into that. But I'm sold that Randy Orton and Tonga will face each other in the finals. No disrespect to everybody else, but really this storyline on SmackDown is really between Randy Orton and the Bloodline now. And should we get to the finals on SmackDown, Randy Orton may need some support. Will Kevin Owens come back? Will anyone in that tournament support Randy Orton? LA Knight might jump right back in side by side with Randy Orton. Or could AJ Styles? I mean, AJ Styles still looking for an opportunity to get after the world championship, but there's just so much unbalance on SmackDown compared to Raw. And that's why overall I do believe that Gunther will win the entire tournament. Moving on to the women's side of the house, we have Io Sky, Valkyria, Stark. They all advanced. We're still waiting for Shayna Baszler and Zelina Vega to match up. On the other side, we're still waiting for Michin and Stratton to go at it. But I'm looking at this in a different perspective here. And I got to say that Zoe Stark to me looks like the favorite. But if it's not Zoe Stark, we could see Io Sky versus Valkyria, and that could be a big surprise. Um, Maybe because of the fact that Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler both are tag teams, their alliance and everything else, that they might cancel each other out. However, members of the podcast have already mentioned that it would be awesome to see Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Stark in the Raw finals. On the other side, I'm still picking Nia Jax to win it all. Not only on SmackDown, but the whole entire tournament. I think she was well deserving to become the world champion and not Becky Lynch when it came to show for the Battle Royal. But hey, you got Nia Jax facing Cargill, and Bianca Belair is waiting for the winner between Michin and Stratton. Definitely is going to be Stratton. Definitely is going to be. But then here's the curveball. And should Jade Cargill win, I would expect that Stratton also advances, and we could see Cargill and Stratton in the finals. Can you believe that? So, as much as I wanted Nia Jax to win, Stratton is the wild card on all this. She could become the queen. I don't think there will be any queens on the Raw side of the house. I don't think so. I think the queen is going to come from SmackDown, and the king is coming from Raw. So therefore, again, Gunther, maybe Nia Jax, maybe Stratton. I narrowed it down to two to be potential winners. But there's still much more wrestling. We're only a couple of weeks away for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament premium live event that's going to happen in Saudi Arabia. Other storylines as well. And we're having a champion versus champion winner takes all match. That is crazy. I thought we were past that. There's no one out there that wants the United States Championship. No one's able to step up to Logan Paul to get that title. We got to have champion versus champion. Is that what's best for business? I'm not sold on it, but at the same time, someone has to lose that title, or will they lose that title? What could possibly happen with Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul? Could this be a stalemate? I mean, it's happened before in Saudi Arabia when we couldn't declare a winner. But some things that I have to disagree on, and that's Logan Paul stating that he is the longest reigning champion. Maybe the current champion now, but it's not like he's defending the title. He's not defending it that much. I mean, listen, there's only been a couple. He is not a fighting champion. I mean, I think John Cena established what the United States Championship belt should be, and Logan Paul's not really holding up to the standard. You're more focused on your product than the actual title. Now, don't get me wrong. Logan Paul is a superstar. I give him that much respect. He is. However, stating that you're the longest reigning champion, that's overstatement. That's not even close. Um he talked about finishing the story. It wasn't really about Cody Rhodes, it was about him. When it is not your story. I mean, I don't get it. Um how could that possibly be if Logan Paul, the only thing that's good enough is that he has his drink in the middle of the ring. He is sponsoring. He has his sponsorship in the middle of the ring. The first to ever do it in WWE. But other than that, I mean, we could go personally. It's not like he personally won an actual title in professional sports. He has to come to WWE. And with his accomplishment, of course, he deserves to be United States champion. But there are plenty of other superstars well deserving to get that title. On the other side, Cody Rhodes. Should he win this match, he will become a Grand Slam champion. That's pretty awesome. Awesome resume, returning back to the WWE to not only just oust the tribal chief, not only win the world title, but now he has a chance to add to his resume and win the United States Championship. He did mention that Logan Paul was a dumbass, and indeed he is. He also mentioned that the only way Logan Paul could win is the need of having brass knuckles. Knuckles up, baby. That's right. That's all he needs. The last person to win both titles, the World Championship, United States Championship, was no other than Seth freaking Rollins. In SummerSlam 2015, he went ahead and defeated John Cena to capture both belts. He was already a world champion. John Cena was holding the United States Championship. But at the end, Seth Rollins did win with the help of Jon Stewart, who interfered in that match because he did not want John Cena to break Ric Flair's record. That's a tough loss for John Cena. But will that pave way for Seth freaking Rollins when he comes back from injury and everything else that he's going through and spark up a match between him and Cody Rhodes? Because that story has not ended. Seth freaking Rollins is 0 for 4 versus Cody Rhodes, and he needs that victory. He does. All right, moving on to the next one. The Bloodline. Did Solo Sikoa lie to Paul Heyman? It is mentioned that Paul Heyman hasn't talked to Roman Reigns since Roman Reigns was defeated at WrestleMania. But if you look at it, if you look at the ending with everyone else's cameras, Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns hugged each other before they went to their separate ways. What was mentioned during that hug is very unknown. We'll get to that. Okay. And Roman Reigns needed to be alone. Roman Reigns has already been in public training, hitting the gym, doing other projects, but he will come back and guarantee he'll be back for SummerSlam. He will make his surprise entrance in SummerSlam. I really do. Because after SummerSlam, we're not that far away from Survivor Series, which we could have a potential civil war should that happen. But the biggest question around is, did Solo Sikoa lie to Paul Heyman? Did he lie saying that he did talk to the tribal chief? And that's why they're making choices. They're doing things. But are they a little bit too aggressive? Solo Sikoa's new faction in the Bloodline makes it seem that Solo is the tribal chief and he replaced Roman Reigns. That's what it seems like. But when Roman Reigns come back, will he come back with open arms from Solo Sikoa, or will there be friction between them? And come with friction, could it turn into fraction? We've talked about that in the last episode about being in a faction. It could create a fraction if there is no open communication. And for what it seems like, that hug that Solo Sikoa is doing right now resembles of The Godfather. You'll watch the movie The Godfather Part 2, you will know that things wasn't right between brother versus brother. Okay? People start knowing the truth. I know what you did. I know what you did. You're my brother. Only later on, he was assassinated. And could Paul Heyman get assassinated? Nah. But I do believe in one thing. I really do. Is that Solo Sikoa, he's going to need a wise man himself because they definitely not listening to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is the wise man for the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. He mentioned that with Jey Uso back in the days, that when Jey Uso becomes the head of the table, the tribal chief, that he could choose his wise man. So who could be Solo Sikoa's wise man should Paul Heyman leave the bloodline? That's a great question, right? That's the unknown. That is the unknown. You know what else is the unknown? It's Uncle Howdy. Yes. You see the QR codes, you see the interruptions of the opener of SmackDown, you see bits and pieces of the QR codes throughout the show. And if you tune into those QR codes, those are codes and those are messages that we're trying to piece together. It does seem like Uncle Howard may make an appearance in Saudi Arabia. It could be. Who knows? But the personnel that going to be in this faction is also fascinating because in one of those videos that I saw four individuals in the middle of a dark room and their shadows were on the wall because in the background there was fire and everything else. And whatever the prophecy and everything else, then being the forgotten and so on and so forth. These are the four individuals that is projected to be with Uncle Howdy: Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Joey Gacy, and Dexter Loomis. I mean, how crazy can you get with these four characters already crazy? That just adds up to be more craziness. I'm loving it. I hope the execution is there. The Wyatt 6 turned out to be the Wyatt 5. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. Sadly to say. But the illusion is going to be a reality. And I'm hoping that this illusion, this thing that Uncle Howdy has going on, makes its presence and we can see what this new faction is all about. I'm loving it. But let's talk about the purpose, them being forgotten. Let's remember the things that what has been done to these characters in the past. I don't know much about Joey Gacy because should he cross over to the main roster, he is coming from NXT. You got Dexter Loomis where he's always sneaking around, right? But Nikki Cross is almost like that crazy chick that you go around and she's just following you and following you, be like, yo, what's wrong with her? You know what I mean? And she's been doing that. Crazy to sound like the last time I thought I seen her, she was behind Becky Lynch and then she disappeared. Or whenever there's a drama within the women's division, she's happens to be in the background. And we always question about what is her purpose. Soon we may find out what her purpose is, as well as everyone else involved in the Wyatt Six, the Uncle Howdy story. Pretty amazing. That's all I got. That's what I got on SmackDown with the tournaments and everything else. And we're getting that ball rolling with all the matches. I mean, look, we didn't even talk about the Women's World Championship with Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. That's coming up in Thursday in our live show. So, but other than that, you're tuning in to the HHW Show podcast. I'm Obi-Wan. And again, we're alive every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe at 9. Again, with all the schedules and all the updates that's going on, we're definitely going to be live and tune into us. And then there is this other type of wrestling. Yeah, wrestling with character. So tune into this as it's coming up next Saturday, May 18th. Wrestling with character. And I will leave you with this ad.
Hey everyone, Mr. Kurt here with some incredible news and something awesome to share. But first, the news. Wrestling with Character returns to New Britain on Saturday night, May 18th, and get ready to imagine the possibilities. And for 1 week only, you can save 20% off your entire ticket order by entering the code FUN20 at checkout. That's right, 20% off of Wrestling with Characters. Imagine the possibilities. Now, for something awesome to share. If you missed our debut performance, I am so proud to introduce everyone to Wrestling with Character.